What's good, everybody? It's your boy BJ. NBA play-in start today. NBA playoffs are right around the corner. We got two matchups tonight in the NBA. First matchup being the Indiana Pacers versus the Charlotte Hornets. Second matchup being the Celtics versus the Wizards. I'm going to dive in a little bit on both of the games. I have a play on both of the games. I'm going to dive into a little bit of reasoning why, just break it down a little bit for you guys. I'm going to try something new too today, actually. On this, if you could see on this this thing I'm recording on, you can kind of go to the computer screen so you can see wrong thing. You can see all this type of stuff on the internet, and I can kind of talk through with you guys while we're going through all of it. But anyways, let's dive into this first matchup. I actually took a play on the Hornets plus 110 on the money line. I think with this Pacers team, you're kind of getting a team that they're not really playing too much for their coach. I mean, this team really doesn't seem too interested in playing for him. It's one of those situations where this Pacers team doesn't really seem like they want to be here. You lose LeVert. You lose Miles Turner. You got Sabonis and Brogdon questionable. This team's kind of falling off the rails. Whereas, the Hornets, they've lost their last 5. But if you look into the games, they've actually played decent teams that they've lost to. I mean, they barely lost to a good hot Wizards team, a hot Knicks team. Played the Nuggets pretty well. Lost to the Pelicans, which is a pretty bad loss. But, I mean, other than that, they've been playing decent basketball, whereas the Pacers really have been going derailing into this playoffs. I mean, it doesn't seem like they really want a playoff spot. I know LaMelo Ball is going to be getting up for this matchup. And like I said, the NBA season, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, LeVert's out, take this team. But in the playoffs / play-in, it starts to get a little more tricky where you can't really just, like, in the regular season, just because a player's out, it really doesn't mean much. But in the play-ins and playoffs, these games are a little bit more high intensity. They mean a little bit more. So these guys sitting is a little bit more of it's a little bit to a higher degree in the playoffs than it would be in the regular season. So I think without LeVert, this team is really not some team that I want to buy into, and especially laying points with the Pacers at home this year has really been a bad way to win money. If we look into it right here, as a home favorite this season, which Indiana is right now, they're 6-14 against the spread at 30%. That's pretty horrible if you ask me. And you got to keep into account a lot of those games were probably with Sabonis, Turner, LeVert, maybe not LeVert, but the core guys that they normally have playing. Now, if we look into them as just a home team, sorry, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. If we look into them as a home team, they're 13-23 against the spread this season. Now, I know that looking into like the spread numbers really isn't like the whole story. It's not really going to tell you everything. It really doesn't mean much, especially when you go deeper into the play-ins and the playoffs. But I just really don't find any interest in backing this Pacers team. If they prove me wrong tonight, they prove me wrong. There's no chance I'm backing them. And if you look for the bright side on the Hornets, if the Hornets can find a way to get into the playoffs, they might get Gordon Hayward back. So it could be a sneaky team. I'm not sure if Gordon Hayward's going to come back. I know he's not coming back for the play-ins, but you never know. If they get to the playoffs, you never know how Gordon's feeling. He might come back. That'd be a huge bonus for this team. But yeah, pretty much I have no interest in backing this Pacers team. I'm going to be taking the Hornets plus 110 on the money line. For one unit. And then if we dive into this next matchup, you guys are probably going to say, oh, BJ, you're just taking this because you're a Wizards fan. That's partially true, but it's also partially not true. This is another case. I feel like both these teams we're seeing tonight that are favorites are playing for coaches that these guys really don't want to play for. Brad Stevens has not been getting these guys up for these games. There's nobody else to blame but Brad Stevens. You have Jason Tatum. You had Jaylen Brown. They were doing horrible with him. Now you're without Jaylen Brown. You have Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Tristan Thompson, Robert Williams, Evan Fournier. You got all the solid pieces you need to be a winning team, especially in the East. And this team isn't winning. This team doesn't seem interested at all whatsoever. And this Wizards team has been amazing of recently. This has been one of the best teams against the spread in all of NBA to end the season. And then you add on, you got player of the month, Russell Westbrook on your team. You got Bradley Beal coming off an injury. And let me tell you this, I've been a Wizards fan my whole life. Every time Bradley Beal gets into the playoffs, this dude goes into another gear. This dude is a bucket in the playoffs. I have no problem riding the Wizards in this game. Let's take a little bit of look at some trends. I was looking here. If you see these are a little bit, eye-opening. 46-5 against the spread, 0-4 against the spread, but it's kind of really a small sample size. 0-4 since April 30th at home. I mean, that's shouldn't really look too much into that. I mean, it's not really a big deal. Wizards 19-3 against the spread since April 5th. That's closing the season on a 19-3-2 against the spread clip. That's actually amazing. And I mean, there's a lot of numbers you could look into. I mean, as a home team, the Celtics have been a lot better at home. Where they at? 17-18 as a home team. Let's look at them as a home favorite this year. Boston 13-14. So they were a lot better at the start of the season. So it seems like towards the end of the season, these numbers kind of dipped down a little bit. Let's look at as away team for the Wizards. The Wizards are 22-13 as an away team against the spread this season. That's a pretty good clip. Let's look at them as an away underdog this season. Washington 17-11 at 60.7%. So you're getting some good splits from the Celtics to the Wizards. I mean, the Wizards got really good, like 60% or higher on, I think 60% or higher. Let's check on both as an away underdog and as an away team this season. Let's see, both 60% or higher. That's pretty good numbers. That's pretty good splits. For me, more so backing this game, not even really based off those numbers, but more so as the fact that this Wizards team is catching fire at the right time. I think Russ and Beal, their chemistry is just really catching up. And, this Boston team does scare me because Tatum, Kemba, Marcus Smart is more than enough talent. Marcus Smart scares me a little bit with Russ. But what I will say about Russ, I was a big Russ hater at the start of the season. I will admit that with my open heart. I was a Russ hater at the start of the season. But this man, Russ, has gotten an IQ factor that he didn't have before. Russ used to come down and shoot stupid threes in the clutch or turn the ball over or try to dribble too much, try to do too much with it. Now he kind of knows, this is Beal's team. I'm just filling the void. You know what I mean? Like, this is Beal's team. Russ buys into that factor. You don't see Russ taking these bad threes at the end of the game trying to go hero ball. Russ is giving the ball to Beal now. I think this Wizards team is catching fire at the right time. And, I just don't see how you could back the Celtics in this situation. They've been playing horrible as of recent. I don't have any interest in backing them. I'm going to be taking the Hornets plus 110 on the money line. I'm going to be taking the Wizards plus 110 on the money line. I think if worse comes to worst, possibly, I think one of the teams will win and we'll get a 1-1 and we'll profit a little bit. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we see both these teams win. I think both these teams win outright. That's why I'm taking them on the money line. Again, that's Wizards money line plus 110 for 1 unit and Hornets money line plus 110 for 1 unit. I know Sabonis and Brogdon are still questionable tonight. I don't really think that affects them much. I know it definitely will help them to get them, but I still don't think this team with those guys really can compete with this Hornets team, especially without LeVert and Turner. It kind of puts them at a disadvantage. And if Sabonis doesn't go, then I really love this. Even if Sabonis does go, it's going to make life a little bit tougher on this Hornets squad, but I think this Hornets squad got all the tools they need, and getting them plus money in the play-in game with LaMelo Ball, count me in. And then on the same note for the Wizards, I'm getting Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook playing the best ball they probably played in their career. Arguably in their career. I'm getting them as a plus money dog. I'm taking both of them for a unit. Catch you guys at the cashier table. If you're tailing, let me know. If you're fading, let me know. I'm going to start doing these videos more and more. Let's get this money. Best of luck to everyone tonight, and I'm out. I'm going to try to hop on Twitch or IG live after or during the game. So if you guys don't already follow me there, go and follow me on Instagram at RealBJcovers. Again, that's at RealBJcovers. I'm also going to try to start a YouTube by June-ish, trying to start a YouTube, see if I can get some people to hop on and maybe talk some sports with me. But other than that, I'm BJ. I'm out. Best of luck to you guys tonight, and let's get to that bag, baby.